So, anyway, let me just introduce myself. I'm Thomas 2-Bit Bestove. I am a podcaster. I've been doing this for a few months now with a couple of friends, and I decided to randomly apply for a panel here at TrotCon that definitely did not go as I planned. And I think it's just, like all good video games, the first one usually has some form of problem or flaw. Like my very first game I ever played, my favorite game of all time, Crash Bandicoot. It is fun, but it has its own little warts.
Nope, it's flawless. What are we talking about?
Hang on, let me just.
Nope, flawless.
Flawless victory.
Nope, flawless victory. But here's the sad thing: you cannot save whenever you want. In order to save, you must beat a bonus level or get a gem. Most of the gems are locked behind 6 colored gems, 5 of which are on the last island, the purple requiring the yellow, and the yellow being the most difficult gem to get in the whole game. Slippery Climb, Toxic Waste, Generator Room, the Lost City, the Lab,
I was supposed to say the high room.
and no, that requires one. Hang on. Okay. In order, it's green, the Lost City, orange in Generator Room, blue in Toxic Waste, red in Slippery Climb, yellow in the Lab, and purple in Lights Out. But anyway, you can't. If you mess up a bonus round, you don't get a second chance unless you restart the game. Restart the game, you lose all your lives and go back to 4. And you can have a cheat code, but then you can't save the game.
I feel like you're burying the lead.
To me, the game is easy to beat. I can beat the original game in one day if I really wanted to try.
What we're burying here is that in the very original Crash Bandicoot, not the remake, the original, you have to perfect the level.
Yep.
If you get the gem, you cannot die. It doesn't matter if
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're actually wrong. You can die if you get a checkpoint.
Before the first checkpoint.
Yes. And if you get a checkpoint, all the boxes will reset. Yep. Once you hit a checkpoint and die, boom, all boxes reset. The first level, Insanity Beach, is the only level where you can go backwards and actually. You can go backwards and get all the boxes, then go forward and break the remaining boxes, and it will count. The only reason you don't do it in any other level is because it's either really long, requires a color gem, or it's boulders. You can't go backwards in boulders once a giant boulder blocks your path. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna go forward. I'm just going to move forward. This boulder is in my way. I'm just going to move forward and ignore it. Crash 2 thankfully fixes these problems by letting you save whenever. It also has a little more balance and difficulty. Breaking the checkpoint boxes saves all the boxes, so you're not completely and utterly screwed.
Yeah, but they also can balance that with hiding the boxes so much better.
Oh yeah, they definitely hide the.
By the time you get to the end.
Yeah, the
box.
box.
By the way, that is to this day the most hated feature of the remake.
Don't.
By the way, not the new hitboxes.
Don't get me started on this one. Don't get me started on that.
That's hidden in like the original Crash 2. They actually make very visible in the remake. It's like, well, you can kill the whole point of the level. Thanks.
I mean, one of the worst things about Cold Hard Crash is that if you want to get both gems in one go, you have to lose a life at least once.
Yeah.
That's just ugh. But it's nowhere near as bad as Crash 4, It's About Time, where they literally hide boxes in the worst places ever.
Yeah, underneath the bonus platform is one that's
yes.
insanely stupid.
That one is so dumb. And in the Dragon On level, oh yeah, here's 2 boxes hidden behind the background.
Yeah, it's kind of like They tried to have the spirit of Crash 2.
Except
What
they
didn't
went
realize is
overboard.
Crash 2 limited how many times they did it.
Yes.
And Crash 4 was like, we're going to do it at every level.
And
then
what's-
also make the levels 100 times longer.
Oh,
So, like,
oh,
Sounds like the people who like watch Looney Tunes too many times.
you're despicable.
I'll say this about Crash 4, alright?
No, Daffy Duck, Looney
Daffy
Tunes.
Duck.
You're despicable.
Oh, hi Plank, I'd like to say.
Yeah,
Plank wants to say a dirty joke, but I forbid him from doing so.
Well, I didn't hear it, so it's okay.
What do you mean you don't hear it? I heard it. It was very inappropriate. But yeah, Dragon On also has the blue gem. And guess how long of a level it is? Don't break a single box. Oh,
That's not the worst feature of 4, though.
it's not. Crash, the worst feature of
That level gives you a hint.
yeah, I do like the fact that if you pay attention to some of the levels, you can see a few hints there. Like at the end, it basically says, don't break any boxes." The first level also has hey, follow this platform order, and you can essentially get the red gem. The green gem is just play around with the environment, and the yellow gem is just out there in the open.
Yeah, like I said, I'll give them this. They absolutely tried.
They did, and it's a shame.
They absolutely tried, but like at a certain point, I don't know why they made the decisions they made
Yeah.
to make every level 3 times longer. Like in all seriousness, they made every level 3 times longer. They thought that they were going to do the fun little things that were in other Crash games, but they didn't realize it's only fun because it's a short level in the other Crash games.
Like it's
It
cool.
sounds like a reverse
So yeah, it's
of Twilight Princess. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you hide something in a level, say in Crash 2, it's a short enough level where you get done and you go, oh, I missed something, but it's so short I can go through and see it.
Yeah.
Crash 4 was like, it's
Also,
taking an hour to get through the level on the first shot, and then you miss something, and you're like, what did I miss?
Yes, that's way worse. And guess, and what makes it even worse is that you have to do it inverted. You don't have to do it perfectly, but you still have to do it inverted. It just, and the only, and spoiler alert, if you get every single gem, get the platinum relics, which you need, before it was just gold, you need platinum, and once you get that, you get the super secret ultra ending, which is a 6-second animation hinting that there's a Crash 5, but Activision put Toys for Bob on work for Call of Duty. We're not getting a Crash 5, we're not getting a Spyro 4, Bobby Korak can kiss my butt.
We'll probably get a Spyro 4. We'll probably get a Spyro 4.
Hopefully, I really want a Spyro 4 because Spyro the Dragon was
I
my
really don't want a Spyro 4.
Spyro is another game that I really have. It was one of my first games I also played, and I love it. Except for 2 levels, Enchanted Towers and Treetops. Here's the thing, though. I was a young kid who didn't understand how the mechanics of supercharging and utilizing the jumps to glide to other locations too well, and it took me until I was an adult to learn how to do that. Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah.
But now that I've done it, yeah. Once you know them, it's super easy. Like, I could go through all the Crash levels almost one run through to get a gem. Oh, you want me to go through Turtle Woods? Okay, break no boxes, get the blue gem, go back, lose a life, start the whole level over again, get the other gem, boom, I got crystal with both gems. I can do the same thing with Spyro.
And then they look at the right gem and then try to get the right gem. They're not realizing.
Oh yeah, you can cheese that one.
I can, but like usually not really supposed to.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop anyone because seriously, have you seen speedrunners? Well, here's something else you should know. I once owned Spyro Year of the Dragonfly. I feel so bad for you and me. What? Yep. The official Spyro 4. Oh my god, this game, I feel so bad because that game was,
I think it was terrible.
that game was rushed. And it actually caused the kid to have a seizure. Yeah.
So did Pokemon, but
Yeah, but
I'm a
everyone,
Sonic fan. I feel like rush games aren't really a thing I care about.
yeah,
It's
but
just
this,
part of my life.
the sad thing about Year of the Dragonfly is the fact that it was a brand new developers working on it, and Universal Studios is like, all right, we need this out by Christmas, and if it's not out by Christmas, we're just going to be very annoyed, and you're just gonna have to do it.
Yeah, let's go Sonic 06 first.
Oh, we don't talk about Sonic 06.
Oh, no, we don't talk about Sonic 06.
I would rather talk about the Zelda CDI games.
Can I? No.
Hey, let me see. Who wants to see me do the duck walk?
Sonic 06?
Year of
I
the
If
Dragonfly.
they made that and gave them 2 years to do it, it would actually be a good game.
Let's see here. Real quick, Year of the Dragonfly. If I can.
You're talking about the GameCube game, right?
No, I'm talking about the PS2 game. I didn't have a GameCube.
You missed out. There was quite a good amount
Oh, speaking of Spyro.
Yeah.
And the PS2, what are your thoughts on the Legend of Spyro trilogy?
I actually like them. I started with Eternal Night by accident.
Oh yeah, that kind of, you get it out of order.
Yeah.
That's so heavy story based.
It is, but I went back to play the original. But after that, I don't know. I just didn't really want to. I didn't want to play the third game, even though it would have finished the
Have you ever
trilogy.
played it?
No, I never played it.
Oh, you gotta finish it now.
I should, but at the same
I
time,
give this trilogy credit because they make the first 2 games very similar in terms of mechanics, how you're functioning, what you're doing. And then they took the 3rd game and went, hey, he's an adult now. And because he's an adult, it's different mechanics, and I can respect that. I can respect them going, you know what? Most of the time, you say this character is different, but then the gameplay isn't. No, they went out of their way to say the character is different, and you know what? Now the gameplay is going to be different.
yeah. I did like the fact that it felt like a more mature Spyro game because it's got a lot darker, it's more edgier, but it feels like, you know, if you're going to reboot the series into something darker, it's a lot better to do it like that. Just, you know, make a new series, new origin. Don't just try and continue the original story, because
Plus, you finally get that big dragon play.
yeah, because here's the thing. Year of the Dragonfly tried that, failed. Wrath of Cortex tried that, and I'm sorry, Silver, the game is just meh at best. Because
Loading screen.
yes, the loading screens are very annoying, especially on the PS2 version. The graphics are just kind of.
The graphics aren't the issue, let's be honest.
And plus, when you watch Crash do a double jump, he looks stiff. Like he's like, oh.
Yeah, like the biggest issue with that game is the same issue that was with 3. 3 and 4, I mean, Wrath of Cortex, relies so heavily on their gimmick stages
Yeah.
that half of the platforming, it's like literally half the stages of platforming, half are gimmicks.
Yeah, but
It's to the point where, hey, remember what was fun about Crash 2 when you were platforming and like more stuff? None of that's in Crash 3.
yeah, but at least with Crash 3, you don't have a submarine that is easily destroyed if you don't have an Akum mask. That was just dumb. That made you have to go super slow through the whole level. And also, if you were trying to 100% Wrath of Cortex and you're doing the underwater levels, use the Death Tornado Spin. Because if you don't use the Death Tornado Spin properly in the underwater levels, you won't get the Platinum Relic because you won't be going fast enough. Why is that a mechanic?
I'm pretty sure Wrath of Cortex only 4.
I mean, I think it's like 106 or something. I don't remember. I never bothered. I never even finished it because I just gave up. Crunch. The last fight with Crunch was just annoying. I just didn't care, and I will at least try to finish it because
The atmosphere stage is just as annoying.
I mean, I think the space level with Coco, where it has Asteroid Alley, I think that's what it's called. We have like a wonky hitbox, and you just die instantly. It just sounds so crazy.
We do that with the whole game.
Yeah.
They moved to the PS2, made the 3D, and like a lot of games to do that for the first time, they didn't have the hitboxes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they had that same issue with the remakes. They tried to remake the first 3 games, and they couldn't get the hitboxes right.
Yeah, they messed up the hitboxes. Because here's the thing, in the remake, the hitboxes, for some reason, it's messed up. So you have to be closer to the enemies if you want to hit them. And if you're jumping on the turtles to try and get a good bounce, you'll slide off more often. And it's just,
What they essentially did with that whole game was they smoothed all the edges.
Yeah.
And they do that, obviously, because, hey, we can do it now with updated graphics and everything.
We can, but we shouldn't.
They never thought about how that then affects the hitboxes of the gameplay.
Yeah.
So they smooth it out to go with the model, but then when you actually try to do anything, you're sliding all over the place because you smooth your hitboxes out.
Yeah, and it made it difficult for me to get the gold relics in when I had to play the PS4 version, which you have to do. I got all the gold relics except for one. Guess which one? And it's not Future Tense. That's Stormy Ascent. I can beat that level, but getting a gold, that's another story for another day. But I'm pretty sure I'll do it someday.
Matt, I'll tell you I got gold for a shot.
Don't make me come over there and pinch you.
Yeah, try it.
All right, you're a pirate. He's trying to make me feel better. Thank you. But it's not just like bad games that I really want to talk about, or even good games. It's sometimes there are really, really dumb mechanics that should not be in a game that costs $70. And I'm not talking about on-disc DLC. I'm talking about loot boxes, microtransactions. Give me more money.
Hey man, there's no way once people stop paying for them.
I know, that's a sad thing. It won't stop until...
The same way we'll get GTA 6 when people stop paying for GTA 5.
Yeah, but also let's hope that it's not like the definitive edition of the trilogy. God.
They put their trust in the wrong company.
Yes, they did. Rockstar makes great games. They should have just They should have hired a good team to port them.
Although admittedly, they were stupid by announcing it as a definitive edition.
Yeah, and then they
should have known better.
removed the PC versions from any stores so you can't buy the original trilogy. You're just stuck with the definitive. But
They started putting those back.
but they're still. You play CTR Nitro Fuel?
Yeah. I played the original. I played.
I was finally.
And then I played Nitro Fuel when they combined.
I like the fact that they, in order to unlock Penta Penguin, you have to use the cheat code. That's pretty clever. I was able to unlock all the proper characters that from the original game, but in Trophy was difficult because you have to beat his ghost on all the levels, not just the original.
That's such a timing thing because if you got the game early, it's not that many tracks to do it. It's just what you have.
Yeah.
And then the DLC started coming.
Yeah, and I didn't.
So it automatically updates. So you have to beat him on.
I didn't realize that until after the fact. And I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
But then it got worse because there's so many cool skins and stickers and all kinds of other stuff that, sure, you can unlock them if you do a bunch of races, but I don't want to grind so much that I end up hating the game. And like the Wampa coins, like, come on, don't you want these Wampa coins? No,
Yes.
I'd rather race other people.
I really just did this turbo mix though for Wampa coins.
Yeah, but really what I would like to do is play online, but that's another problem.
The online for CTR Nitro Fuel.
It's bad.
Maybe it was when I started. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, at the beginning it was.
It had actually had some issues.
Yeah.
But considering the platform, because I played it on Switch.
I played on PS4, but
I was shocked to see on Switch it very little, especially given Nintendo's servers and how they love to do things.
Yeah.
Especially when that game was then, towards that it was, well, PS4 to play with, Switch, and etc. I never had too many issues pop up with online, although I do hilariously have a screenshot of, I believe I lost the race in second, but the time says that I beat the guy in first, and
Yeah, that's
always hilarious.
that's always a weird thing. Of like, it feels like Activision, they have all these servers for Call of Duty. You figured that they would dedicate some good servers to Crash,
Call of Duty
but
servers also have tons of glitches. It just depends on what happens on them.
yeah. But one thing that really bugs me is that there was no like SR ranking. Like you could get into a match with anyone, and you could have someone that could do
Yeah,
Electron Avenue in like 2 minutes because they know how.
I absolutely had some online matches where it was literally just me versus one other guy.
Yeah, and the thing is, the online matches is the best way to get Wumpa coins without using the glitch and the Wumpa time and just.
I won't lie, I did kind of feel bad.
It's a great game. It really is. And I want to love the remake, but I don't know. It's
I liked it. Listen, I'll personally say I liked it.
Yeah.
They did everything they needed to do. There was nothing like with the Crash platform remakes. All the cars felt right. It took very little to get used to it again. All the stages were right on. All the skips were still there. All the timing was set. The DLC stages were free.
Yep.
Furthermore, the DLC stages felt very much like good racing tracks. There was nothing crazy in
yeah.
them.
Except for Gingerbread Avenue. I don't really like that one.
Gingerbread Avenue was very much a pro DLC stage.
Yeah.
It was designed for you played this game, you know what you're looking for, you know how to do it.
I'm more of a casual, so it definitely just But it's a cool level in design at least. I love it.
You know, I played Nitro Kart, really. CTR and Nitro Kart were two games that I played. Like, if they tracked like they do now, like hours and everything, how long you played, I easily would have been over like 10K.
Oh, I can feel that.
And I have grinded them down, every shortcut, every trick, every set, what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to do, how to then correct your mistakes when you don't get something, how to fix that, how to maximize your grind, like,
Can you consistently do what is it? It's out of time at the fence jump over to like skip a portion. Can you always do that every time?
I'm assuming you're talking about the beginning when you're
Yeah.
you can just get over it and jump that.
Yeah, that one I can only
I can
do
do
it.
that pretty consistently.
Yeah, I can only do that one.
You have to jump, it's so weird, because it depends on the speed you're coming in, so you have to know what speed you're coming in at, and then from there, there's I wanna say like, probably 20 window or so, I'm trying to think time-wise what it is. It's like 23, 22 frame on where you're jumping, because you have to get the edge just right, so you know, otherwise you'll just jump small. Furthermore, you then have to know, you essentially can get a free redo on it if you can get it the second time. If you miss it the second time, you're losing time on the track and you essentially screw yourself.
Yeah, it definitely
The
is.
hard one is in Blizzard Bluff.
Oh, no, we don't talk about Blizzard Bluff.
The very last shortcut that you essentially need either an Aku mask for, and even if you have the Aku mask, you have to hit it just right to jump over it. That's not even a shortcut. That's really a shortcut.
Yeah.
That's a shortcut that the game programmers were essentially like, technically you could do it, so the ghost is going to do it, and now you have to try to also do it.
Yeah, that like when I was trying to get the achievement, take every single shortcut in all the tracks. That was one I didn't even know existed until I looked it up.
Yeah, I knew the, because there's two of them there at the end.
Yeah, there's
I
the
knew about the second one. I
yeah.
just never took it because realistically, it's one of those things that it's not worth the risk. Because if I mess it up, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's like 10 seconds off. So realistically, I'll lose the 3 seconds just to go around, build up turbo, and go.
Yeah,
And
but-
on top of that, you get a crate on that turn.
Yeah.
The first one, I never knew that you could actually jump that. And I'm not sure you could do that in the original. I'm still not sure you could do that first one. because it's such an odd angle, and you need the perfect speed to barely clear that fence.
That one's just, ugh.
And unfortunately, that's the one that I think Oxide goes. No, Oxide is the second one. There's a ghost that uses that first one. But you have to try to beat the time.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And what's also kind of crazy, in the nitro fuel and it's about time, there are developer times, and those times are just ridiculous.
I don't believe they actually did that.
Yeah, there's no
They
way.
absolutely just programmed the computer. to do
Yeah.
that.
Some of them, you have to be so perfect. And it's just crazy to think that, oh, well, if we put in a tough enough time trial, people will want to do it. And, there needs to be a balance between fairness and difficulty. It's like, I've beaten...
No, I mean, it's fair, because you have to remember, to get to that, you have to beat the track, then beat entropy time, and then beat oxide time. So to be fair, by that point,
you think you would
a
be...
challenge if you want it.
Yeah, but there's no reward for it. It's just bragging
Exactly.
rights.
It's just there if you want it.
It's like, I've beaten Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal on the second to hardest difficulty, Nightmare mode. That's a challenge, and it feels worthy because I slowly get better. But if I'm trying to beat these ghost challenges, and I keep failing, and my hands keep getting sweaty, and I just keep messing up, I'm like, ugh, I just don't feel I'm rewarded. I don't get the same kind of satisfaction because I just feel like I wasted a lot of time personally because I played so many games. I'm definitely more of a casual person, and I have found some ways to...
This is where you're kind of trapping yourself in the corner.
Yeah.
Because you're saying you're casual, but if you're casual, why are you even trying the developer time? Because the developer time is very deep in there. Like I said, you have to go through, beat the track, beat entropy, beat oxide.
See,
at that point, you're not really playing casually anymore.
The main reason why is because I just want to try to unlock everything in a game. I feel like if I don't unlock this, I didn't complete it, but then at the same time, it just feels pointless and worthless to try to unlock this because it's just a skin that realistically I might not even use, or I don't want to brag to people. They're like, oh, look, I did this. I did the thing. Hooray for me.
Speaking of, I will thank the Lord, I unlocked the gold and platinum skins before the DLC stuff.
I'm very
You have to tap that on.
I'm very proud of you because I doubt I could have done that.
Stuff came out, I went, nope, don't care, don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a casual player, don't play Minecraft.
Oh man, you know what's kind of sad?
Oh, shit.
I do play Minecraft for fun, but I also want to try and at least beat the dragon. I mean, yeah, but I always get distracted. I always get nervous.
It's hard to destroy everything.
See, that's the fun thing about Minecraft. You can do anything. You can play casual, you can play creative, and you can just destroy everything just because.
I got bored with trying to destroy everything. It took too long. Why doesn't the fire last longer?
Because chaos! For those who can't see, I'm holding up Discord, who I have tattooed on my arm.
Oh.
So chaos forever.
Yeah, I think I know how you feel.
But I talked a lot about Crash games, but I did say something about Doom. But personally, I think Crash is a game series I played a lot of. I also played a lot of Sly Cooper, which funny story. I started with this sequel as well, and I got it for Christmas, where we were having a horrible snowstorm, and it kept knocking out the power every now and then, every few days. I was at a hotel when I went down to the main hall to grab some breakfast donuts, breakfast of champions. I came up, and my mom put the gift on the pillow. I opened it up, and it was Sly 2, and it was so fantastic. I then found the original in a Video Games Express, if anyone remembers those. It sadly had to move locations because the previous manager or owner was doing some shady stuff, and they had to send them to jail. It involves a substance I'm not going to talk about. And then my least favorite of the Sly trilogy, original trilogy, not counting 4, is that when my mom was overseas, she came back and she had the game in her suitcase and she gave it to me and I was so happy. I got home, I played it, and then 2 weeks later I didn't beat it and my PS2 just decided to die. I was like, no! What? No, it just died. It wouldn't read discs. We had to send it in to get repaired, and I had to borrow my friends, but I could only borrow it at night. It was not an easy thing, but I beat it, and let me just say, completing Sly 3 is fun until you get to the end, where you have to deal with the RC challenge. You have to collect about, I think it was like 16 power orbs, gain no health, and if you die, start all over again. And for whatever reason, that one always took me the longest. My hands were always sweaty. I was so frustrated. I wanted to pull my hair out. But somehow I did it. And it was so much better than doing the pirate mission, which requires you to have to, for those who played it, you get to play as a pirate. You get to battle ships. It's kind of like a simplified version of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's not at all complicated. It's very fun. But if you're trying to do the challenge where you have to take down a bunch of ships, it's tedious and boring. And it just makes me hate that. It's like a bad game mechanic that no one asked for, but it got put in anyway. It's like, who here loves the RC mission from, which GTA game was it in? I can't remember. Was it either 3?
It's in 3 and 4. Or not 4, 3 in Vice City.
Yes. The RC, everyone loves that one because you control a tiny RC plane that's very difficult to control. It's easily destroyed, and you most likely have to start it all over again multiple times. It's almost as annoying as trying to catch the train, CJ.
Yeah.
All you had to do was follow the train with a poorly shooting AI.
All you had to do was follow the train.
Yeah, but you know what's kind of funny? I think I was like 12 or 13, and I wanted to buy GTA 3 for my brother because for some reason I thought that'd be a cool gift for him. I don't know why. I never played it. There's an apple bloom behind us. She looks wonderful. Hey, Apple Bloom. Hey, Apple Bloom. Did you know that there's a game about apples?
What game?
There's a game about apples.
Apples?
Apples.
You talking about apples?
Yep.
What kind of apples?
Apples to apples.
All the apples?
All the
my
apples.
God.
We're gonna buy some apples.
Oh my God, we got them.
But yeah, we're just talking about video games right now. So hopefully you understand, you talented farm pony with no electricity but can somehow have a telephone.
Absolutely, I do.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You love it, and you know you do.
But the other side of me just says your pun was bad and you should feel bad.
Oh yeah, well, you know you would.
Yes! I did not
You-
see that one coming.
Oh my! You want to know something that makes me feel bad?
Oh my God.
What is it
Kill me
called?
now.
Nope. I'm trying to think. What is
You
it?
said kill you now, so I did.
Hey, Phoenix down.
I guess this is all just a slice of life.
Yeah. But oh shoot, I'm trying to think. What was it? It was a game that. Oh. You ever have a game that you just, when you're young, you love, But then you get older and you realize this was bad. To me, that's Wrath of Cortex. And worst of all, it's Jak 2. Jak 2 is the sequel to Jak and Daxter and the precursor Legacy. Ever wanted to play a kid version of GTA? No? Of course not!
Actually, I played Bully, which is basically Grand Theft Bike.
Yes, but Bully's actually good. Jak 2 is just, hey, we're going to become an edgy game now. Here's a bunch of guns. There's no health pickups. There's nothing from the original. You have vehicles for no reason. A hoverboard for no reason. And the story doesn't really matter. The checkpoints are all over the place. I don't know why. I used to like this game when I was young, but then I got older and realized this is stupid. And I have no idea how long I've been rambling about video games. I think it's been a good minute.
When did the panel start?
It started at 7.
We're an hour and a half.
Look, no one
It's rambling about video games.
no one
Movie.
no one showed up until all of you showed up, and I figured, you know what? I'll do my thing. I'm Thomas.
I originally came for something else, but I read the time wrong. But
It's okay. I appreciate you being here because I feel, because at first I felt really sad that no one showed up, but now I got some people here to ramble to. So thank you for that.
There's something I always like getting off my chest.
Yeah.
I'm Sonic.
Was so-
Wait a minute. I know our thing. I know our culture. Can we talk about how Sonic 3 decides to force you to use one mechanic you've never used before and stops the game unless you know how to do it?
We can.
I understand that.
We can talk about that. But instead, let's talk about one of the most annoying things that I'm pretty sure will never die. Fortnite!
They all die.
It'll die eventually. As long as Fortnite is not like TF2, which I hope never dies. And now that I say that, we must now pay our respect to the soldier, who literally died like a true soldier.
Wait, they killed the soldier?
No, the voice actor, I can't remember his name.
Oh.
He literally went down like a true soldier.
Well.
Cancer, stroke, heart attack, and the current crisis is what it took to take him down. That is impressive, in my opinion, and I'm glad that Valve honored his memory.
He say he herded all the animals onto a boat, and he beat the crap out of every single one.
Then he took 2 of every animal, and then he put them on a boat, and then he beat the crap out of them. And that's why wherever you get a bunch of animals together, it's called a zoo.
Unless it's a farm.
Unless it's a farm. If you are to ensure victory, you must fight. Sun Tzu said that, and I'm pretty sure he knows more about fighting you do, pal, because he and President. And then he was president, so no man could mess in the ring of honor. I would do the whole thing, but I
You pretty much did.
So instead I'll do this. This is a bucket. Dear God. There's more. No. What's that, Plank? Plank wants me to talk about the greatest game that I don't think a lot of you have ever played, and I recommend you do play this if you're a fan of this character.
Oh my gosh.
Ed, and Eddie, The Misadventures. If you have never played that game, it is one of the few games that properly captures the magic of the show. The characters feel like the actual characters. They got the original voices. So much about it feels like you're playing the show.
Alright, I have one very important question to ask about that.
What's your question?
Does it have chicken?
Chickens! Butter chicken, butter chicken, butter chicken, butter chicken. The stupid bird stole my quarter. It doesn't have chickens, but it does have all the lovely characters. And again, I know they kind of got my times wrong. So everyone just started showing up and I started recording. Hope you're not mad at me.
I'm mad at you.
Oh man.
This is my setup time.
Oh man. Well, everyone, thank you, all you random strangers, for showing up to me ramble about video games for however long. I'll look at this later. If for some reason you like this, I have a YouTube show called 2 Bits with Thomas. I've been doing a couple of episodes now for about 2 months. Our last video we did was on, what was it called? It was the All Dogs Go to Heaven Christmas Carol. It was a treat. No, it wasn't about nuclear fallout. I also have a Twitter called 2-Bit Thomas. 2 Bits Thomas. I have a Discord if you want to look at it. I got it right here. Feel free to join.
This is my start time now.
Feel free to join my Discord and my Twitter and everything. Just look up 2-Bit Thomas. And remember, Time's an illusion. Universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Bye!